Oh, so cute. The random emoji power paragraph utilizes the random emoji generator, and we're going to take you there in just a moment, where you're going to be using between 1 and 5 emojis to write a paragraph. And the idea here is that students, if we give our students writing prompts, sometimes they don't have the background knowledge. So if you give them a writing prompt that's like, tell me about your weekend, what if they sat at home and played video games? I mean, like for the past year, that's kind of like what most of our weekends have looked like, right? Um, Around where I live, most people go to Disneyland once a year at least. So I oftentimes hear people use the prompt, what's your favorite ride at Disneyland? What if you're that one kid who didn't go to Disneyland? And I mean, there are many, but you'll feel that way possibly in your classroom. So we use the random emoji generator to give emojis because kids love emojis and write to them. And you get to be creative and you get to link your ideas so that we're getting some critical thinking in there. And by using a program called Socratic, we can give immediate feedback to students, and then we revise with the next protocol we're going to show you. Okay, so this is the random emoji generator. This was created by a gentleman named Ian Bird, and he has removed all of the alcohol, tobacco, and firearms, basically, of emojis, which can be scary when you're using these with kids. So the idea is I am in charge of the emojis, you are in charge of the writing. So I'm going to click start over here, for example, and I'm going to show you this emoji and I'm going to tell you, go ahead and write a sentence. And you're like, well, what is it? And I will say to you, it's whatever you want it to be. After you type that sentence, I'm going to say, okay, now somehow link these two ideas. And you write your second sentence. And then I'm going to click this. And now you're going to link your ideas to this one, etc. So that's how random emoji power paragraph works. And I'm going to continue to show you the magic when we get some real paragraphs up here. So we'll go to the random emoji. I'm going to click start over. And please go ahead and write a sentence about this emoji. And if you can't see my screen, it is a cow emoji. And hopefully we can get some descriptive language in there. Oftentimes I will tell my students, your sentences must be at least 6 words long because I don't want them just writing there was a cow. I will say maybe your nouns need to have 2 adjectives for each. I'll try to give them some parameters on that. If I've been teaching appositives, I might say one of your sentences must include an appositive. When we were working on dialogue, I would say one of your sentences must be punctuated properly with dialogue. So you can throw all those things in there. So our next emoji is like basically a little blue SUV. So you can turn that SUV into there's a variety of ways you could use that SUV. And then our last emoji is going to be, it's a girl in a red dress, like a dancing dress. And after you write your third sentence, you can go ahead and press enter. So I'm going to leave my emoji screen and show you the Socratic screen. And I am going to show you the answers, but I've kept the names off of there. I could go ahead and look at the names to see who my naughty child was in case I needed to. And I could use this X to delete theirs, but I'm going to hide our names. And now that I have the paragraphs up here, here's my teaching time. I can come in here and see what my students have been doing with, oh, look at this person had a great sentence beginning. As I was running down the street, a purple cow ran from the field and stopped in front of me. So they started with a phrase so that I have my comma in the proper place. I was standing there in shock when a blue car screeched to a halt on the other side of the cow. A tall lady in a red dress jumped out of the car and said, "Let's dance." And I would say, oh, very nice. I like how you included some dialogue, but don't forget you need that comma before your quotation marks. So we can review grammar, we can correct grammar in a really kind of glows and grows kind of way. So it's not just like a red pen being like, look at this, oh my gosh, cross that out, we're doing this in real time. Kids learn that they're writing for an audience that's not just the teacher. Then they always want to read each other's, of course. So what's cool about Socratic, and this is the totally free version, I can click start vote, and this will let you now get control on your screen to read everyone's paragraphs and vote. Now, in my classroom, the vote was quite honestly meaningless. I didn't care what the vote was, but they were engaged. Or I could say, find somebody who has an appositive. Find somebody who has two adjectives separated by a comma. Find somebody who used a stronger verb that wasn't a was or a were. Any of those things to get them into reading each other's paragraphs.